Welcome to GBL Game Day, your home for all the exciting action from the Greater Boston League.
In a thrilling fantasy football showdown, Albanian Express secured a hard-fought victory over Senor Ocho Cinco with a final score of 126-56 to 117-22. The matchup was competitive from start to finish, with both teams showcasing strong performances from their star players. Top performers for Alvin were Jaden Daniels with 28.16 points, Debo Samuel with 18.2 points, and the New Orleans Saints defense with 17 points. For Joel, he was led by the Dallas defense with 20 points, Brian Robinson Jr. with 17.9 points, and wide receiver Jalen Waddle with 17.2 points. Despite the strong efforts from Senor Ocho Cinco, Albanian Express was able to seal the win, balanced contributions across the board. In their GBL debut, Hurricane dominated the Miami Sound Machine with a convincing 93.76 to 60.76 victory. For the Miami Sound Machine, a lot of low-scoring performances across the board, including with Nico Collins, who was the only highlight, with 18.7 points, Dak Prescott at 9.96 points, and Sam Laporta with 8.5 points. Their efforts weren't enough to close the gap. However, for Hurricane, he was led by quarterback C.J. Stroud with 18.66 points. Kaimi Fairbairn had a great game at 17 points, and Rashad White closed it up with 16.6 points, securing a comfortable win and moving on as 1-0 in their debut season. In an absolute all-time classic nail-biter, the Quails edged out the injured reserves with a narrow 136.68 to 133.88 victory. The injured reserves did get a lot of strong performances, starting with wide receiver A.J. Brown, who got in 24.9 points. A surprising 22.6 per point performance from Ramondre Stevenson, and finally 19.9 points from Kenneth Walker III. But it wasn't enough to hold off the late surge from the Quails. As far as the Quails go, they were led by quarterback Josh Allen, who tallied up 31.68 points. Tyreek Hill added an additional 28 points, and finally Rashee Rice at 18.3 points, sealing the win in a close and exciting matchup for the Quails. In a thrilling GBL Game of the Week and the brother versus brother showdown, the Fighting Irish narrowly defeat Aston TDs 128.56 to 124.52. The absence of Christian McCaffrey loomed large for Aston TDs, but Jordan Mason stepped it up with a big 23.2-point performance to keep the game close. Lamar Jackson at 27.12 points and Mike Evans at 23.1 points also delivered stand-up performances, but it just wasn't quite enough. Fighting Irish secured the win with monster games from his top three running backs, including Saquon Barkley at 34.2 points, Joe Mixon at 27.8 points, and Alvin Kamara at 22 points, edging out the victory in this high-stakes family battle. The Handicap Heroes secured a solid 117.28 to 97.84 victory over the Korean Mafia. For Korean Mafia, top performers included Aaron Jones at 18.9 points, Patrick Mahomes at 16.14 points, and running back Kyron Williams at 14.4 points, but they simply could not keep up the pace with Handicap Heroes, who were led by quarterback Anthony Richardson, who clocked in 24.08 points, running back Jerome Ford at 18.9 points, and also at running back Bijan Robinson at 16.1 points, powering them to a comfortable win and a 1-0 record for the second year in a row. Albanian Hard Knocks dominated Mama Patterson with a commanding 138.9 to 106.72 point victory. Mama Patterson did put up a fight led by running back Devon A-Chain, who got 23 points. Kicker Brandon Aubrey put in 21 points. And tight end Kyle Pitts had 11.6 points, who had his best opening day performance in his career. However, Albanian Hard Knocks were absolutely unstoppable thanks to a huge game from wide receiver Cooper Kupp, who got 33 points. A strong showing by the Minnesota defense at 21 points. And running back James Conner rounds it up with 19.3 points, securing the comfortable win. This looks like a trademark Albanian Hard Knocks team, and it looks like they're on the right track. And now, let's dive into the thrilling action for Week 2 of the Greater Boston League season. First up, we've got the GBL Game of the Week, featuring number 9 Senor Ochocinco going head-to-head with number 11 Korean Mafia. Next, number 5 Handicap Heroes will clash with number 10 Mama Patterson in what promises to be a fierce matchup. Then, watch out for the number 7 Injured Reserves as they aim to slam the door shut on their bitter rivals, the number 4 Albanian Express. Fresh off their first ever victory, number 6 Hurricane is set to challenge fellow contender, number 3 Fighting Irish. Returning to the top form, the number 1 Albanian Hard Knocks will face off against number 8 Asantidis, and to close out the week, the number 2 Quails will take on the struggling Miami Sound Machine, currently at the bottom of the standings. Get ready for a week of full intense matchups and unforgettable moments. Get ready for fireworks because this GBL Game of the Week brings back a heated rivalry that's as fierce as they come. Two of the league's biggest trash talkers of this offseason, Korean Mafia and Senor Ochocinco, are set to collide in a showdown that promises epic proportions. When it comes to career dominance, Joel holds the edge, boasting the second best overall record in GBL history with 2 championships under his belt. Meanwhile, Nick from Korean Mafia ranks 12th all-time, but he's fresh off a third-place finish last season and has been building momentum. Despite the accolades leaning towards Joel's way, Nick has had the upper hand in their last 3 matchups, and the rivalry is deadlocked at 7 wins apiece. The Mafia have favorable matchups this week, so we're calling it. Nick takes it in Week 2 with a projected score of 125.5 to 119.7. Let the battle begin. Up next in this season's first GBL Spotlight is 2-time GBL champion Senor Ochocinco, led by Joel Grace. In 2023, Joel finished just behind Alvin for the GBL Champion of the Decade honor with an impressive 56.25% winning percentage and an all-time record of 63 wins and 49 losses. With 2 championship titles under his belt, secured in 2017 and 2019, Joel has built a strong case as being one of the best managers in GBL history. When Senor Ochocinco makes the playoffs, the odds of a title are pretty solid at 50%. Joel has earned playoff berths in 2015, 2017, 2019, and 2021, winning each of his championships by at least 41 points. He also made it to the semifinals every time he's qualified. Additionally, Joel was tied for second all-time in regular season titles, claiming victories in 2015 and 2019. While his teams aren't known for high point production, only averaging 115.3 points per game, ranking 8th overall, Joel has mastered the art of winning. He ranks second all-time in wins against a single opponent, defeating Steve Keogh in an incredible 11 times. On the flip side, no one has caused Senor Ochocinco more grief than his fierce rival, Korean Mafia, whom he'll face this week. After a tough 2023 campaign where Joel went 5-9 and missed the playoffs for the second year in a row, things are looking up for Senor Ochocinco, with projections placing them second this season. The stage is set for a huge comeback.
Welcome to GBL Game Day, your home for all the exciting action from the Greater Boston League.